I am Fr.Gnanasekar, belong to the Congregation of the Blessed Sacrament, and today we are going to talk about the Eucharist as a memorial sacrifice. Hebrew 10:10, and it is by God's will that we have been sanctified through the offering of the body of Jesus Christ once for all. One of the points very much contested by our brothers and sisters who have left the church to join the mushroom fundamentalist sects and cults is about the Eucharist as sacrifice. They cannot understand when the Catholic speaks about Eucharist as a memorial sacrifice. Is there any scriptural basis for the Eucharist as a sacrifice? Does it not go against the scriptural assertion that the sacrifice of Jesus on the cross is once and for all event? In fact, the letter to the Hebrews states at least 5 times that Christ's sacrifice is once for all. Also Romans 6:10, 1 Peter 3:18. We shall try to answer this difficult question and we ourselves perhaps acquire a better understanding of Eucharist, which we Catholics have always regarded as part of our precious heritage. Let me say something about gift giving. We give gift at Christmas, when we visit a friend, etc. On a father's or mother's birthday, almost spontaneously a child will give. What really is gift giving? It is not the same as alms giving. We give alms to someone in need, for example, to a beggar. We do not give gifts necessarily to people in need. We give gifts to our friends, to those we love or cherish. Often the value of gift in terms of money may be little. The birthday gift of a child may be a flower gathered from the house garden. But the value may be great. The meaning behind it is great. And the love put in the gift may be great. Why then do we give gifts? Gift is a way of expressing a message. We can communicate the message in different ways. We can use words as we commonly do. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. We can also express a message through a gesture, a deed. A man, for example, may say to his wife, I love you, but while saying that, he gives her a beautiful sari. She is much more convinced of the reality of his word, I love you. His message becomes very tangible indeed. The message we wish to communicate will vary according to circumstances. On completion of 25 years of service, a company or a school may give gift to an employee or a teacher at his or her retirement. It is a way of saying, we appreciate all that you have done for us these past 25 years. We will miss you when you go away. It is an expression of appreciation and gratitude. Again, a boy or a girl in love may quarrel. He may send her a lovely bouquet of flowers or a box of chocolates it is his way of saying, I have made quite a fool of myself by losing my temper. Please forgive me. It is an expression of regret, a desire to be reconciled. It is good to note that the giving is not complete. Gift giving is not complete until the gift is accepted. Refusal to accept the gift means that the offer of friendship is broken. In the above case, if the girl were to refuse the bouquet of flower or the box of chocolate, she would be saying, no please, our relationship is at the end. Let's break off. Everything is finished. When the engagement is broken and the parties decided that they will not go ahead with the marriage, they return the gifts they have accepted from each other. Again, a gift thus is not so much an object value. It is rather in the nature of a sign value, a symbol value. More than a material value, it has a meaning, a significance. It is meant to convey a message of love, affection, and regard for the other person. The exterior giving signifies the interior disposition. If this is absent, the most costly gift becomes an act of insincerity, a meaningless gesture. Finally, gift stands for oneself. So, my dear sisters and brothers, from the beginning of creation, men and women had the culture of giving gift to one another. If you go to the Old Testament, Cain offered the first fruit of the ground. That was his gift. Abel offered to God, the Lord, the firstling of his flock. That was his gift to the Lord. After the deluge, Noah built an altar to the Lord and took very clean bird, offered burnt offerings on the altar. That was his gift. Melchizedek of Salem brought out bread and wine. That was his gift. Abraham went and took a ram and offered it up as a burnt offering instead of his son. Jacob would rise early in the morning and offer burnt offering to obtain forgiveness for the sins of his children to God. Job 1:5. Samson's father took the kit with the grain offering and offered it on the rock to the Lord. David offers burnt offering and offering of the well-being before the Lord, before the ark. 2 Samuel chapter 6. Studies of the ancient tribes and people show us that the humankind has been in the habit of offering sacrifice to God. This has been as almost universal custom. We recall the words of the 2nd century Greek writer, Pulch. You may find cities without walls, without literature, and without the acts and sciences of civilization. But you will never find a city without priest and altar, or which has not sacrificed to God. Some of the sacrifice assumed strange form, including human sacrifices. At the heart of the sacrifice, however, lay the instinctive desire of human being to offer their best to God, to express through a gift their sense of adoration, gratitude, their cry for forgiveness, their need for divine blessing for communication. This being true of all religion, it is not surprising that we find the element of sacrifice in the Old Testament. In fact, the Old Testament is replete with sacrifices. And we could perhaps go through the whole of the Old Testament. In fact, in the book of Leviticus, Yahweh himself laid down minute details with regard to the sacrificial ceremonies. If you have time, take the book of Leviticus, read chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 talks about burnt offering. Chapter 2 talks about meal offering. These are the expression of total offering to God. Because once it is burnt, nothing remains. The meal offering, once it is eaten, finished. Peace offering, chapter 3. Chapter 4, sin offering. Chapter 5, guilt offering. These three offerings express a different aspect of person's relationship to the Lord. When we study these sacrifices, there are three elements involved in all these sacrifices. Number 1, immolation. The offering is totally burnt and destroyed. Number 2, offering. You need an animal or food grain as an object for offering. Number 3, acceptance. It is by the priest. God accepts the sacrifice. When they see the smoke going up, they believe that their offering is accepted. So what is the meaning of this word sacrifice? What is the definition of the word sacrifice? The English word sacrifice comes from the Latin word sacrificiare, which means to make sacred. Sacrifice means to make sacred. Now the sacrificial victim becomes sacred precisely because it is taken out of its normal, secular context and offered to the divinity. Sacrifice is a special act of external cult whereby a man transforms a victim externally visible, that is immolation, totally burnt, and offers it to God, oblation, to be accepted by him, acceptance, as a sign of union with God. There are 3 Old Testament sacrifices could be said to be of special interest to us as Christian for the sacrament of the Eucharist. Number 1, the Passover sacrifice. If you read Exodus chapter 12, the whole thing is explained very well, where the blood of the lamb was meant to protect the Israelites from the angel of death. So they cut a lamb and put the blood on the doorpost. When the angel passed by, when he saw the blood, he crossed over, he passed over. And that's how that family was saved. Passover sacrifice. A sacrifice on Mount Sinai. Number 2, Mount Sinai sacrifice, or covenant sacrifice, where the people made a covenant with God. Exodus chapter 24. This was meant to establish a relationship with God. I will be your God and you will be my people. God entering into a relationship with people. Moses cut the animal and put the blood in the basin and then sprinkled on the altar. That is the symbol of God. And the remaining is sprinkled on the people. That blood united God and people. Covenant sacrifice. Number 3, Yom Kippur sacrifice of atonement, described in Leviticus chapter 16. A purificatory rite meant to re-establish link with God, surrendered by sin. A lamb was taken and the sinner will put his hand on the lamb and symbolically pass down all his sin to the lamb and chase it into the desert, and the lamb will go into the desert hungry and thirst will die. And when he dies, people thought the lamb has taken away the sins. This is what exactly happening at Calvary. We shall see in a brief time. So, sacrifice was offered not as a punishment for my sin. I have sinned, God is going to punish me, so I offer grain offering. I offer lamb offering. Not to please an angry God with blood. He is a bloodthirsty man, angry. So I offer blood. No. The fundamental ideas underlining these sacrifices were the same. It was meant either to establish relationship with God, covenant sacrifice, or to protect or to preserve this relationship, Passover sacrifice, or to restore it, at least restore it if lost through sin. Yom Kippur sacrifice. So, my dear sisters and brothers, throughout the Old Testament, men and women offered sacrifice out of love for God, to be united with Him, to have a deeper communion with Him, to re-establish the broken relationship. Okay. And that was not enough. That Old Testament sacrifice was not enough. Year after year, okay, with animals' blood, not enough. When the fullness of time came, God sent His only Son. He so loved the world, He gave up His Son to be crucified on the cross. And that we call the sacrifice. Jesus' death on the cross is a sacrifice. So Jesus' sacrifice.